Hi there, New Beginnings people. If I'm doing my math right, we're on week 25. Wow. I hope you're keeping up with your reading. Keep going, keep going, keep going. It's been very interesting. I keep expecting, the parts where you just absolutely can't read it and it's boring and it's dull and I'm dragging my feet through, but I kind of skim read through all of the names and all of the, names of the cities and the names of the people who could shoot a bow. I kind of hurry through all of those, must confess. But I've been amazed that I have found nuggets and cool information in absolutely every single book. Nehemiah, I honestly wasn't looking forward to, but when I got to reading it, I was surprised at the wisdom and the courage and the just dogged determination that Nehemiah had to do what God had put in his heart. And it just made me, introspective. How determined am I to follow after what God puts in front of me and speaking in front of me? That's what really struck me about Nehemiah. When he assigned working on sections of the wall to all of the different people, it was the wall that was right in their neighborhood. It was right in front of them, the thing that would affect them most, that they would be most encouraged, most willing to work on. And the same thing when I got to looking at Esther. It's like, oh my goodness, here she's faced with heart-pounding decisions, and yet even though she took time to pray and fast, that's not a bad thing, that's a good thing. She took time to pray and fast and gain courage. She went ahead and did the thing that she was most afraid to do. And that was what saved her people. It was what God had put in front of her to do. And I'm sure all of us have quoted, we're here at, for a time as this. I can't even say it right, but anyway, for such a time as this, that's why we're here. And the truth is, that's the truth. For such a time as this, you've been put in your place, your sphere of influence for such a time as this. And how dogged determined am I to do what God is asking me to do, even when, there's dead air. The person on the other end of the phone says nothing. Will I say what God has told me to say? Or what he's prompting me, to say to them, whether it's encouragement, and actually speak the name of Jesus to my friends, or whether it's, helping them see where they're just making mistakes. All of us do. All of us need correction. All of us need to hear those things that are heart-pounding and difficult to say. But it's so good when someone will be determined to follow God enough to say it. Just like Peter, here we are reading in Acts. We read Nehemiah, we read Esther, and here we're at the first part of Acts. And Peter is gone from hanging his head and saying, I don't know him, to standing up in front of a crowd of thousands of people and saying, pay attention to what I have to say. And saying, this same Jesus that you crucified, God raised from the dead. It's like, oh, Peter, are you cognating what you're doing? But the Spirit of the living God in him was testifying, was so strong to give witness to what God had done that he didn't even notice the fear at the time. I don't know what he did afterwards, but at the time he was pushing forward in that confidence that God had put in his heart. And I think that was really because he'd spent so much time on his knees beforehand. Just like Esther fasting and praying first, and Nehemiah and the prayers that he put in first. And Peter had spent weeks on his knees. And I think that makes all of the difference. Committing the time to be with God, to hear what he wants, and letting his courage be in us to do what he wants. It's an awesome thing when you do it. It really is exciting. So anyway, keep going. Next week is the middle point. We're almost halfway through the year. So keep reading, keep learning, keep growing, and we'll see you Sunday, New Beginnings. It's an awesome, awesome year.